chances are, if you have an RX8 or an RX7, you keep oil in your trunk. Now the problem for me is that the oil in the trunk spills over onto everything else, and sometimes it can leak out. So what I'm going to do is put a bar across the side, and that will keep the oil from tipping over and possibly spilling out, and it'll also keep it from mixing in with the other stuff. What I'm going to do is have the oil over there in that back corner. Then take a 3/16 inch by 48 inch just plain steel rod or bar, and you only need 40 inches of this. I measured it previously. The first mounting point is in the back right, and you can see in the back left there's a rivet right there. I just popped it out. So the back right, now there's a hole. Now over here, the other mounting hole is right down here on the plastic. So there's also a rivet, but I took that out too. So it's gonna go up like here, it's gonna go out, up, across, all the way across, and then it's gonna go down into this mounting hole right there. Then I'm gonna slide a piece of this small square steel tubing over top of it to give it a little bit more girth. The first thing to do is to get measuring. The measurements on your model might be different, so it's a good idea to measure your car first before you make the bends. Now we're gonna get measuring of this steel bar. So go from one end and mark 4 inches. And then from that end, we're gonna measure 33.5 inches. Going 33.5 inches, making another mark. And then from this mark, we are measuring 2.5 inches down. The rest of this is gonna be cut down once we have everything bent up, because if we do it now, the bends, there's some play in it. They're not exactly perfect 90 degrees. They take up some material. So we don't want to cut this until we're done. Once you got your marks, you're going to want to make your bends. Remember that the bend is going to take some material. It's not perfectly 90 degrees on the mark. So you want to raise the mark a little bit above the vise when you make these bends. I just measured this up, and I'm gonna need about 1/2 inch here before I cut it. So now I'm gonna cut this to fit, and I'm also gonna cut this to fit. And just like that, the bar is in there. Oil's gonna stay in there. It's not gonna end up in the trunk with everything else. So, I mean, I can definitely fit more in here also, and it goes all the way back there. Got my rag for checking my oil. Everything's neatly off to the side, just how I want it. So I think it's a success, and it was less than $10 to make for all the materials.